Boom! We are off with another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, here with my boy, Zach Ukachaka. He's hooked on a feeling. Elias, what's up, buddy?
I've had that song stuck in my head since then.
You know that from Ally McBeal, right?
No, I know that from it being a song and from Reservoir Dogs. Why were you watching Ally McBeal? Well, you're in a tap out shirt, so I can't say what I want to say, but
The dancing baby from Ally McBeal was the original NFT.
Great. I know what the Dancing Baby was. I didn't know it was Ally McBeal, and he was playing Ooga Shaka.
I think she was. I didn't really watch the show, but I think she was hallucinating or something.
Yeah, I'm sure. You're hooked on every episode. You've been DVR.
Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. Tuesdays, we do it live. Saturdays, we post it later. People who are watching this, make sure you're downloading the episode, subscribe, go back, listen to an episode if you haven't. This is your first time. We love the support. Episode 114 today, we're calling this All Apologies.
Is that because the two girls from Seattle, you didn't like them, or were apologizing for them, or because both she and I said Cobain?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
I liked them. I liked having guests.
Before we get into the episode, Zach, why don't you tell everybody what we're drinking?
We're drinking the other half of a Kinder Egg that exploded, and my daughter's playing with the toy right now. But we've all got our crosses to bear. We are drinking from the good people at the Kona Brewing Company. I've been to Kona. The Longboard Lager Ale, or Island Ale, because it's freezing here, and I needed a little bit of, as they say, liquid aloha in my life.
Did that gross you out? I didn't know that that's what they call this, but liquid aloha sounds a little...
I mean, I'm going to use it next time I make aloha. But, these things happen.
Aloha is shalom. It means hello and goodbye.
That's what Kenny Mayne used to, his home run call. Aloha means goodbye. One of my favorite home run calls, by the way.
Release the Kraken.
I'm going to like this. This one's up my alley.
Well, meka leka hi, meka honey ho. There it is.
I saw that. Oh, that's good. I saw that when I went live on Broadway. And they brought back the Pee Wee Herman show. Everyone other than Lawrence Fishburne, who was too cool to go back to the show, and Phil Hartman, deceased. He didn't make it back. It was fantastic. Everyone in the crowd was within a 4-year age gap, and we were all just crying. It was amazing.
So the episode today, All Apologies, which definitely is a call to the Nirvana, but I'm a diehard Rogan guy. Have you been following anything that's been going on in the news?
He's a lot. I mean, if we should do of the week right now and get it over with, because it's him.
I don't necessarily agree with that, and it's
fine,
not.
You big Sarah Palin guy. She knew she had COVID and went to a restaurant anyway. Mask off, flame on.
I did not know about this.
Oh yeah, I mean, at this point, she's just a Tina Fey caricature of herself. Palin is out of her mind.
Wow, that's gonna win my piece to do. But
yeah,
no, Zach, look, our podcast is definitely not
podcast.
A podcast is definitely not debating on the Rogan or who's right, who's wrong. But you saw that he put out and what they're called. He doesn't say I'm sorry, but he puts out a explanation video.
It's a Zach apology. You say a lot of words that don't actually say you're sorry, but the other person thinks you're apologizing. It's an art.
Well, baby, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
No, I wouldn't even go that far. It's just, So then you end up blaming them. And then the whole key is to get them to apologize to you after your apology. That's really when you perfected the art. For them to admit that somehow they were wrong.
I love that you're answering my question before I even get a chance to ask it.
I
am one of those people where pretty much any relationship I've ever had, most of my significant others always go, you just think you're always right. You never say you're wrong. And I always quickly say, no. When I do something wrong, I quickly apologize and we move on because it's, oh, I'm sorry I messed it up. But I will die on a hill when I'm right. And then they go, you just don't give an inch. I'm like, well, no, and they go, you never apologize. Like, no, I do when I do. I'm going to make the assumption, Zach, you're never sorry.
I do apologize. Whether I mean the apology, 1 out of 10. And Jenna is quite good at knowing when I'm serious and actually contrite, and when I'm just saying what I need to say to move the story along. Saying you're sorry and not meaning it is an art to that too. But certainly when I do mean it, they're good apologies. They're rare, but they're good, and I feel super guilty. It's like I don't always step on my cat or dog, but when I do, I apologize for the next 8 hours.
Oh,
That kind
I
of
get
thing.
that.
When I'm wrong, I like, no, I'm so sorry. It's constantly apologizing.
Yeah, I just can't imagine you being the person. If BYD said something, which Lord knows we've had a couple of moments, are you and I putting out a big statement to our audience, a 9-minute explanation video? Absolutely not, right?
No, to our audience. Hey, Shelby and Samantha. Sorry. Done. Statement over.
Shout out to Samantha, her son Ari, 4 years old today.
I saw that on the Facebook. He held his cake up here. It's perfect.
Kid's huge. He for a 4-year-old. Height, Zach.
Okay, good. The way you said it, you're like so impressed by your nephew over there. Height? Is she tall?
Her father is my uncle. He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. Fancy schmancy. Listen.
So
Speaking of Rogan, are you going full Rogan now? Is this what is happening over there? The bald, the big headphones, the tap out shirt. You're like, put on 60 pounds and you're good.
Why don't I just spark up this doobie real quick and we can talk about the stoned ape theory? That is the best part of the whole thing. And I don't want to get into this, is if anybody who listens to the podcast, 9 out of 10 are just pure idiocy. It is him saying something that's even dumber than the last time about nothing.
Yeah, his answer is, we get things wrong. We're okay with that.
The biggest critique, which my buddy Pablo has of him, he's too much of a flip-flopper. And
my big takeaway is you have a buddy named Pablo. Good for you.
Yeah, he's great.
Sure he is. Like
hard takes on God and everything. One time we got into that, and it went to blows almost.
He's very Jesus-y.
Grew up with a dad that was into theology, and he is the opposite.
Oh, I want to get into it with him about God. I always want to mix it up with the God guy on the subway, but I'm scared of getting stabbed. But like the guy who's reading the Bible and then telling me why I'm wrong for everything, I would love to like just have him hear my hot takes.
So talking about apologies, I think I might owe a little apology. This is pretty bad. I still think this is one of the funniest things I've done or said. So my buddy, Mr. Eat the Rat, been going through a little rough patch, okay? And we're not going to get into what's going on, but we were hanging out the other night, and he came over, and we're sitting here, and Julia's asking him all these questions.
I can lose you, though. $8 million would have helped in that rough patch if he had sued Eat Rats, bro.
So we're sitting there, and Julia's asking him some questions. It's just about life and about
$8 million.
$80.
Yeah.
She asked him about Jersey and the shore and real estate, and then she just stops. Now, my friend, who I'm not going to name his name, but more or less, he's not the tallest person. He doesn't have a little person complex, but he's one of those guys where, like, he kind of knows he's on the shorter end,
Like
so,
the guy I see in the mirror every morning?
I think he's shorter than you. So we're sitting on the couch, and Julia goes, I need to ask you a question. And without breaking a stride, I turned to her and I said, 5'4". I'm sorry that I did that. I kicked a little man, when he was down. Zach, the timing was amazing.
Did he laugh or did he just eat it? Did he just crumble?
He ate it with like a thanks. Really needed this. It was that type of reaction.
You know what, though? At a certain point, you can kick him. He's so far down. What's the difference? What's another 2 inch? What's another pile it on? Well, who cares? Kicking him when he's up is even worse. Then you're just dethroning him or knocking him off his high horse. I'm okay with kicking him when he's down.
Oh my God,
well,
dude,
what else is going to happen to him? That should be the worst thing that happens in his day.
The timing was great, and it didn't even. She barely laughed. I was like, that was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, I had one of those too a while back that I ended up apologizing for. I'm sure I can say it on air. I guess I have to now, right? I can't leave a teaser.
Go on.
Yeah, so like, and it was bad, and we laugh about it now. And then but again, like the timing was perfect. Jenna's grandparents met in Auschwitz, like post-Holocaust.
Is this serious?
Yeah, swear to God, no kidding. And the first words out of my mouth, and there were a few other people over. Oh my God, the original J-date. And the room fell down. Like you said, the timing was perfect. Like it was boom, boom. The room fell down, and she just stared at me. Now we laugh about it today, and it was funny. And it was like those witty, quirky lines that, like, my mind didn't tell my mouth not to say it. It just went. And
wow.
Like I just dove in cannonball and just realized, oh, there's no water in the pool.
Are they still around? Because I would love to have them as guests.
No. But like they lived long, old lives. They just not around.
Wow. So one might say that Adolf Hitler was responsible for your daughter.
One might. One just did.
Terrible.
Yeah.
So, Zach, I went to a wedding 2 weeks ago. I didn't really get a chance
Ooh,
to
but that's a
recap it.
butterfly theory, because if I had the chance to go back and kill Hitler, I wouldn't have Zoe necessarily.
There it is.
Huh.
Eee.
Eesh, now we're on to something. I think I still have to do it.
Do you know the story of one of the guys? I told you about him at the wedding that I went to. He was the one that was trying to get us to do a bachelor party in Thailand because he wants to see a lady boy. Did I tell you this?
Yeah, you told me all about this. I shan't be attending his party.
Same guy back in the day. This has to be a good 5-6 years ago. He was saying how he hates animals, just absolutely hates them. And we're next, all the what ifs and stories. Somebody said, like, as far as a dog is in a house and it's burning. What would you do? And he's like, I don't really care that much. And he goes, all right, if you have to save one, a dog or Hitler in a house, who would you save? And he goes, I would save Hitler, and then I would take him to jail. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Guy, how do you know this guy? Who is he?
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball?
Yeah.
What a motley crew. What does he do for a living? District attorney? Who is this guy?
We'll talk off air. He's actually doing.
No. He's giving me the job. Not the time. Welcome, where it's just his line of work.
He's one of those jobs. Yeah, startup. Blah blah blah. I couldn't even tell you what he does, but
startup transponder.
Something like that.
Yeah, good for him.
So, Zach, I went to this wedding 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit because not a whole lot happened. Julia had a zinger, and this is such an inside joke, but there were some people there that you start bullshitting and you talk to different people, and this guy comes over and he was just down, and where are you from? And he goes, I live in California. My accent here not so great. And
Why does he sound like he's from Arkansas with you?
There's a place in California that is just West Virginia. And when you ask anybody, you're basically saying that. And this guy comes over and he says this, and Julia lived out there. She goes, oh, Bakersfield? And I don't know if you've ever heard of the place, but it's West Virginia. It is the West Virginia of California.
I've never been to Bakersfield. I've actually never been to California. I should get out there.
More of an inside joke, but this guy then becomes my best friend for the night. Don't ask me. An older guy. He was super nice. And he turns to me and he goes, I don't know how we started talking about football. And he goes, I do fantasy football. And I'm like, oh, really? He takes out his phone, shows me his team. It was an all-star team. It was the best team I've ever seen put together.
But who else is in the league? What is it like hillbillies are in this league?
I said, how many people are in your league? He goes, we had 8 this year. I said,
wow.
What are you, a child? He goes,
wow.
We're trying to get more. You want to be in my league? I was like, yeah, definitely. Let's sign me up. And then he goes, but we're doing a flex next year. I'm like,
ooh.
Okay, Jeff Rowe, send me the link.
By the way, we all mock 8. 1 year, we signed up. It's our 10 or 12 man league. They did the league, and he screwed up the invite, and then they did the draft. We ended up having an active league where the draft just didn't happen, and only 4 people signed up. No money. We did a waiver. Go grab your team. Go make your team and run it for the year. It was a blast. No money. Everybody had a team that was ridiculous.
I've done that
honestly. We
baseball.
had an absolute blast. It was stupid as could be. It was a ton of fun. Everybody couldn't lose, but someone had to. The scores were off the charts.
The low man puts up 250.
Yeah, it was nuts.
The guy was
more
really
shit
nice
about that league than the rest of the other ones.
Another friend at the wedding that I got to talk to. This was that guy whose wedding I went down to in Culpeper, Virginia. He doesn't listen to the show. I love him. He's a great guy, but he is off the deep end liberal. The topic of Rogan actually came up, and he just turns to me and he's like, anybody who listens should die. People who don't give, and I was like,
that's
whoa,
aggressive.
Dude. Oh, he goes, you know what? I've been thinking during the pandemic, look, a couple more deaths, never hurt anybody. I was like, okay, buddy, you need to dial it in.
That's liberal? Calling for deaths?
For people who don't get vaccinated. That's basically what he was saying. And then he said, I'm disappointed in you that you listen to that crap. And I was like, all right, I'm not doing this right now. But
disappointed? What is he, your father?
I don't think my father has that strong opinions. So I'm talking to my buddy. This past week, Julia had to go on set for something with one of her shows that she works on. And Zach, I can't make this up. She had to be there because nobody knew how to use, what's that called again? Zoom?
What show?
Let's not get into the show, but
you can't tell anything. You're silent over there, like Silent Bob, Johnny Tightlips,
Mr. 2 Seatbelts on an airplane from
what? Is there 2 seatbelts on an airplane?
Kevin Smith.
He's from Jersey.
Yeah, it is. That's all I wanted you to say.
Oh,
anywho,
so why does he require 2 seatbelts? He's that fat these days?
You haven't heard this? Yeah, ginormous.
He's fat. He was always fat. 2 seatbelts fat?
Two seatbelts, like 2 seats, both where you could take the one,
Yeah.
the plus from the
Into the
one, the
other.
minus from the other. So Julia had to go in to do this because people
Is
didn't know
that
how
what
to
they call
use.
them? Pluses and minuses of seatbelts, or did you just make that up?
I didn't make it up, but that's not
It's
what they're
pretty
called.
good. Oh, I know. It's just like the
You know
plus or the
exactly what I'm
coupling.
talking
Of course
about.
I do. Yeah. Plus and minus. Perfect.
So I'm telling this story to anybody who wants to listen. And I sit down with my buddy the other day, and I said, "Dude, do you want to hear the craziest thing? She has to go to set because the people there have never heard of Zoom. They don't know how to use Zoom." And deadpan looks me in the face and goes, "What's Zoom?" And I was like, I don't believe you." He goes, "I have no idea what you're talking about."
Oh my god. How is that possible?
I don't know. And then his wife had to explain that it's like the Microsoft Teams. He goes, "Oh, okay. I know Microsoft Teams." Zoom isn't going to end up being
Strange.
like a verb. It's going to be like, "Oh,
It
I
is.
face." It
I
is.
think I
Whether
zoomed them. Yeah, we do it all the time.
whether it's Zoom
We
or
don't.
not.
Right. It's like Kleenex though. It's gonna be like like Coke. Like we use Google Meet at or Hangout at work. We still call it a Zooming. Zoom call. It's a Zoom call. It's a thing. Um, or we call it Hollywood Squares. Either way, like Alan Snyder for the block. Circle gets the square.
You are Hollywood Squares. Every time I say
I
anything,
love
the first thing you do. Oh, meanwhile, I wasn't going to get into your girl, Mr. Center Square, Mrs. Center Square,
Joan Rivers, deceased.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, what'd she do?
She made a reference to. She basically said how Nazis and Jews were the same because they were all white, and it's a whole convoluted thing that's not worth getting into. But basically, she has since doubled back to apologize. But as you and I have discussed on the show, you should basically be never saying anything about the word Holocaust that isn't in Remembrance Day. Like, you just shouldn't be making
Yeah,
tapes.
it's not an ideal one. Yeah.
It was a racially charged thing. How
Yeah,
they were all
I
white
get
people.
it, but it's not the same. And Jews aren't white people. We're Jews. It's a different entity.
Little fun fact about her: do you know her real first name?
No.
It's great. I heard this recently. I think on Rogan, actually. Karen.
Karen?
Yeah. I don't
not
think
bad.
Goldberg is her real last
I
name.
don't
But,
think it is either. Perfect. Good for her.
but yeah, she made some comments there. Zach,
It's like your boy John Stockton, banned from Gonzaga.
a little too much for me. I read that story.
Banning him? That seems a tad askew, but he won't put the mask on.
It's just so weird. I don't know. Zach, tomorrow I have quite the afternoon planned. This morning,
Lighting the candles and putting on Red Shoe Diaries.
I'm in the bathroom and I'm finished up washing my
Go
hands or
on.
whatever. And Julia from the bedroom, the one that's connected, she goes, "Alan, can I talk to you out here for a second?" And I walked out. I
That's
went,
your Julia?
it was too calm. And my first instinct was, I thought she was 18 at the time. I really did. And she looks at me, she goes, "What?" Apparently, we went to this bridal expo a couple weeks ago, and you fill out your name for a million different things. Well, we
I have
won
no
something.
idea. I've never been to a bridal expo. I cannot believe you went.
There
You
was
can't use the word anymore. Let's play Hangman.
there was free banana pudding.
Who gives a shit? Yeah, I'm sure there was.
So we won this trip, and all we have to do is go today to go claim it. And I'm like, timeout. She goes, "Guys on the phone right now." And I'm like,
Trip
I'm
to
not.
where?
I don't know, Zach, but we're
Branson?
Bakersfield.
Yeah.
So the guy gets on the phone and goes, "Listen, we'll give you a $20 gift card for your gas. We'll give you a free Amazon Fire tablet, and you just have to come here and claim your blah, blah." And I said, "How much is this going to cost me?" He said, "Just the $100 booking fee." I said, "I can't come today. Can I come tomorrow?" Sure. So Zach, tomorrow at 4:30, I have to drive to Parsippany, about a 45-minute drive
With a month there one night. Yeah.
with the toll for a free trip somewhere where this is 100% bullshit, right?
Yes. And when he starts in on the sales pitch, you FaceTime with me and you say, "Excuse me, I'm going to call my side Jew and he's going to negotiate with you."
Say I won't.
Yeah. I got nowhere to be at 4 tomorrow.
4:30.
Ugh. Fine. I'll haggle with the guy until 6 o'clock. That's when I leave work. If he's had an hour and a half of me and him, let's go.
Here's why I believe this may be a real thing. I think I've told the story on air. I won an all expenses paid trip to Disney when I was 9 by doing the same exact thing.
Where is this trip to?
So you get to pick one of the resorts. Julia's doing all the research where we might be going to Punta Cana, where we probably have to pay for the flights, but they're taking care of the hotel and whatever. I'm one of those guys where I'm like, all right, prove me wrong.
Where is this from? The hookers are on them?
Where's it from? I told you we did some travel agency something. I went online and read the reviews. Most of the reviews were
Put a quarter, win a car.
Most of the reviews were pretty legit. Speaking of which,
Most, not all.
Some were like they tried to sell me shit, and I didn't want to be there anymore.
I ended up in Juarez at a donkey show.
I said I want to go to a cockfight so bad.
Yeah. Like, what's stopping us?
Do you know what I found out recently?
I need to learn how the betting works. Because you're waving money around to the guys that who is there like a set bookie or like I get the white cock and you get the black and we see who wins.
Which cock wins, the white or the black?
I mean, we know the answer, but you gotta give me the odds. You gotta give me the odds.
I assume that at a cockfight, it's the color of the cock, and it's going to be the pollo. So it's just going to be like rojo pollo, azul polo. Like that's it, right?
It's like essentially kickboxer, but with birds. You're just waving the money and Chun Li.
I think I said this maybe on air, but I found out recently that at these cockfights, the chicken that dies, they actually cook it and eat it, which is not that inhumane considering what we do to cattle in the USA.
They actually reuse the bird and like make it into a meal. I'm good with it.
The winner gets it. The winner gets to eat your bird.
Put that on a shirt. I'm going to eat your bird.
In Spanish, nonetheless.
Yeah, and have it say tap out on the side so they know you're a douchebag.
Pichadoo of the week. I got a good segue for this one, Zach.
Shirt, but go on.
Got a bunch of candidates here. I posted this on Instagram, the Alan Snyder, and on my Facebook. This past weekend at the supermarket, in the ethnic aisle, there was all types of seasoning, including one that was cock seasoning, Caribbean jerk, is what it said, and it was COCK, with big black letters on the front of it. Did you buy it? No, I don't want to eat cock. It's probably too salty for me.
Should be next year's Hanukkah party. Absolutely.
Oh my God, I will get it.
Done. That's not a bad thing. Who's the Pichadoo there? The supermarket? It's hysterical.
I don't know. Zach, I mean, this is essentially turned into guess what I saw this week.
Yeah, I like everything about that.
Second one, are you following the Jeff Garcia back and forth with some female reporter?
No.
So Jeff Garcia, who I think gets away with a lot because he's in with different crowds. This is common knowledge. Garcia's... Don't you remember T.O. called him out?
Yeah, but T.O. calls everyone out.
No, he called him out being like, if it looks like a rat and smells like a rat, and he didn't say eat the rat.
He should be a spokesman for Eat Clean, bro.
So Jeff Garcia has been going back and forth with a reporter online, basically just keeps on saying, you never played the game, you wouldn't understand. And she's just been dunking all over and being like, oh, okay, because all these other male reporters, they played football at a high level. I mean,
yeah, Mike Lupico was killing it.
Exactly. That's the whole argument. And it's I think it was mainly about the Dak Prescott thing, but it's just been a back and forth of like, dude, shut up. But I think he thinks he can get away with more.
Oh, because he's so essentially it's so using his fugazi as leverage.
I think that's what's going on.
Seems convoluted. Next candidate. Next question.
Well, for one, happy Chinese Lunar New Year. You didn't wish me anything.
I didn't, because I won't say Lunar New Year. Every time Zoe says Lunar New Year, I'll say Chinese New Year.
Okay, do you want to say happy Chinese New Year to me? I'm a part of a mixed couple.
Yeah, I'll say it to her, but she's Cambodian. When's her New Year?
Like, I think it's all
May
the
4th?
same.
May 8th? Like
May the 4th be with you, you Star Wars nerd.
Exactly. Bring her on here, and we'll find out what her New Year is. Yeah, Shana Tova to her.
Tomorrow, big day for a couple of reasons. One, Julia's older brother's birthday. Two,
big day.
We're going to find out the new name of the Washington football team, which I hear they're leaning towards Commanders, which I don't love that either.
There's a lot of commando jokes there.
And 3 is Groundhog Day. Apparently in New Jersey, a town, I think it's called Milltown. I saw this on the news today. Their little Puxatawny Phil, whatever the Milltown Mel, died today.
Oh!
I saw this. What? Replace it. Why are we even having a conversation? Replace the stupid hedgehog and move on.
Hold the dead one up. It's going to do the same thing. It's going to cast the same shadow.
It has to see it, though, and you have to interpret if he saw it.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah. Meanwhile, his little tongue is out the side as it's rocking.
Yeah, he's in a Hawaiian shirt and the sunglasses. Oh, it would be amazing. Get a taxidermist.
You put it on marionette and just have it.
Like, you have the night to get the best taxidermist in town to make it awesome. Do it.
You should have called a tax attorney. Next one. I don't know how much I care
What
about
is
this.
12% alcohol? Because we're both idiots tonight.
That's great. I don't know why I even care about this, but we've talked about this man at least twice on this podcast, 2 different episodes. Your boy, Nick Cannon, has done it again.
More kids?
He just impregnated another woman, and it will be child number 8.
He's catching up to Cromartie. He is quite the coxman.
But it gets better. The woman, Johnny Manziel's ex-wife.
God. There's so much to unpack there. Yeah, Money Manziel. Money Manziel's probably broke. Oh, wait, Nick Cannon? He's worth a fortune. He's doing from nothing. Good for him.
But do you remember that we made a joke about him having too many kids? And then a story came out saying he's going to be celibate? This is like the 3rd or 4th time we talked about this guy.
He's incredibly potent.
Zach, he walks into my house right now wearing a shirt that says, "Hi, my name is Nick." I don't know if I recognize him.
Oh, I do, because we're Masked Singer people in here. And usually he's wearing some kind of turban or something nonsense. Yeah, you want to have that fight with Zoe? She'll be wearing a tap-out shirt. She'll kill you. She'll beat the shit out of you.
Next one,
Submit.
more news. Joe Exotic, who has been trying to get out of jail since his Tiger King fame, he is in jail, I think, for another 22 years. There was a big appeal, and they were talking about maybe reducing some of the years. He was resentenced yesterday to 21 years in prison.
So they shaved a year off?
Yeah.
I wonder, does he get to wear those ridiculous outfits in prison? Is there like some... That's unfortunate. They should give him like a stud gun and let him like rhinestone that orange jumpsuit up.
Next candidate. McDonald's coming out with a new promotion. I single-handedly keep them in business with my love of the fish fillet. I may or may not have had one today for lunch, running late for something. They are doing a special land and sea sandwich. They are doing a special surf and turf sandwich where they are combining the Big Mac and a fish fillet, and they're combining a double cheeseburger and a fish fillet.
That's Gamora.
It looks insane. It looks like 12,000 calories in one bite.
Yeah, you're going to have it, though.
Nah, I don't really love the Big Mac sauce. I'll just keep getting the double fillet.
Then ask them to make you whatever you want, or just order one of each and put them together and make your own,
Do you know my biggest gripe is that I like the double fish fillet. When you order from the kiosk, you can't add a patty to it. So I have to actually go to the person who then goes, "Sir, you can order at the kiosk." I'm like, no, I can't add the thing.
Go to the person. Pretend like it's 1998 and you have to interact with the human
being. Do. No. There's no person standing at the line anymore.
What?
There's not a person.
People?
No.
I haven't been to McDonald's in like 12 years. Like, there's
your loss.
I know. But speaking of fast food, I owe you an apology and a mea culpa. I don't like to apologize. This is one of my real apologies, but I actually mean it. Because I went to Popeyes the other day, and I've always said, it's okay. It was quite good. Now, I don't like mayo, so I get it with no sauce, and I put my own sauces on there, so be it. But the actual chicken was better than, well, the crunch of it was better. I like that Chick-fil-A cooks the spiciness into the chicken, so you don't need some fruity mayo. But the actual chicken, like bite for bite, it is better.
Glad you agree.
Yeah.
Those are your candidates for Pishadu of the Week. Anything we've talked about on the podcast, we got Cox Seasoning, Jeff Garcia, Milltown Mel, Nick Cannon, Tiger King, and McDonald's.
I still think it's Palin for knowingly going into a restaurant.
I agree. That was great.
It's awful. But I will say that McDonald's sounds pretty gross. And times must be pretty tough if they're combining those two. Like, where does it end? You throw a McRib in there. At what point do we is it just suicide? At what point is it just like, instead of like just injection or jumping off a building, you just go eat a sandwich and you've got 4 minutes to live? That sounds pretty gross.
All right, Zach, wrap up.
I want to see this go for this dead groundhog. If he shows up,
that's great.
That'd be incredible.
Taking this puppy home, we are going to do some trivia tonight, with tonight's episode being all apologies. I am going.
Awesome. Is it trivia?
I have 5 ridiculous Nirvana questions because any real hard trivia was just going to be insane and you would never get it. So I got a couple ridiculous ones for you. Here we go. Nirvana was originally a blank tribute band. Was it Pink Floyd, CCR, Beatles, or Rolling Stone? Do you know what CCR is? I can explain that. Got it.
So wait, what are my choices? Was it
Pink Floyd, CCR, Beatles, and Rolling Stones?
Those 3 guys were originally girl wasn't the original drummer. Pink Floyd, Rolling Stone. I'm gonna say Pink Floyd.
Correct answer is CCR.
Really?
You're gonna learn more. I'm not keeping score here.
I'm okay there. I like learning.
Question the second. What was Kurt Cobain's job before he became Nirvana's frontman? Was it a beer taster, a car salesman, a sleep study participant, or a janitor?
Janitor.
Janitor is correct, and in the Smells Like Teen Spirit, the guy in the background, the janitor, that's an homage to that, apparently.
Yeah, I've seen the shirt. That one I actually knew.
All right.
Yeah.
Question the third. Why was Nirvana thrown out of their own release party for Nevermind? Was it starting a food fight, spanking the waitresses, shouting obscenities, or fighting a bouncer?
I'm going to go with starting a food fight. That seems like up their alley.
That is correct.
The others don't seem like them.
Right.
Seem off-brand for them.
You're supposed to pick the slapping the waitresses, but you did.
It doesn't feel on brand for them.
I agree. Next question.
It doesn't go a Smashing Pumpkins thing.
Oh,
Corgan would absolutely slap away.
I was in the car the other day, and I just threw on like 96 hits or whatever, and Smashing Pumpkins came on. God damn, they were good.
They were great. I saw them in concert and was in the mosh pit. I was like 4'9" at the time. It was like high school. It was crazy. I got killed.
Tonight might be an all-timer for me.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
It's a great one.
What did Kurt Cobain wear to his wedding? Was it pajamas, a bunny suit, angel wings, or a swimming suit?
He wore, I believe, a bunny suit.
He wore pajamas.
Did he? Yeah.
And last, I thought this was great. Who was Cobain's suicide note addressed to? His fans, his wife, his imaginary friend, his daughter.
Imaginary friend.
Is correct, Zach. Good job, buddy.
Bowden or Bodie, something like that.
I can't believe you knew this much about this.
Yeah,
I thought you might.
Apologizes to Franny at the end, which is gut-wrenching. But nevertheless.
Wow. Good stuff.
Yeah, I've gone down rabbit holes. The wedding thing I didn't know, and some of the other things I did. Yeah.
Super Bowl's coming up. We got our two teams. We have the Rams, who are hosting -3.5 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Who you like?
I can't believe that so many times it's been like the curse of the Super Bowl host. Like they never get there. Now 2 years in a row, the host city.
They should be making more of a thing of this, and they're not.
They should. Or the Super Bowl should just be at a neutral venue. It should be its own like stadium. One stadium planted somewhere in the Canton, some middle of nowhere town, and you go to it. And they use it once a year. It'd be great. Or like for concerts and things. That way no one ever has an advantage in the perfect conditions.
But you can't do that because the town has to be able to support the restaurants and all the people who are coming in.
Then you put it in Canton. And
Canton doesn't have enough food or staying things.
Well, make stuff. Create jobs. Comet creates jobs. Anyway, who do I like? I would love to see the Bengals win. Jets beat the Bengals this year. We beat the best. I was at that game.
The Browns also beat them. The Chargers spanked them. When you look back at their season, you're like, okay.
That said, there's something special about this Burrow kid. He's the goods. The goods.
You know who he is, right? He's your boy Willie Joe.
Joe Willie?
Same guy, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Joe had one. This guy may get a couple, or he may get none, by the way.
He has the swagger that has not been seen since Super Bowl III.
He must just slay in Cincinnati.
It's a big boy.
Just slay. Whew. Well, there's a lot of big girls in Ohio, too, so that's fine. I would love to see the Bengals win. They're such an average team. There's such much nothing. It's just... Why the Bengals win would be great.
I'm letting you pick, but I think you and I should do some type of on-air bet of some sort.
I think the Rams are gonna win, but I would love to see the Bengals win. I'll take the Bengals.
Zach, you got the Bengals +3.5. Sure. We'll figure it out. Not a kick in the dick, but like a shot of mayo or a shot of ranch or something.
Oh no, I'm not doing mayo. You got to give me like 45 points to do mayo. It's gonna be a blowout. Ranch I'll do. Or
we got 2 weeks to figure this out, but on air, you and I are gonna figure something out.
Fine.
Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. Thanks for listening to this episode. We appreciate this. Keep listening. I'm having fun.
Yeah,
this was fun. Laugh my ass off, Zach.
Me too.
We out.
Bye.